play without an ace in his deck.
Hi, Curly.
I'm the trap player. No, actually, I'm a plumber.
I'm the five-card stud.
I was even right about me. I'm trying to make him a space bear. Space bear.
Heroin crack.
No. Ace is back.
Hi, Curly.
Ace is back and he told you so.
Well, here we are. It is 12:19 a.m. It is Friday morning, Thursday night, and we obviously have all heard the news. I heard early this morning. Obviously couldn't say anything publicly until the official announcement came this afternoon. But Ace is gone. And man, this is a tough one. Obviously I didn't know Ace. I met him a couple times. But dude changed my entire life. Obviously, different intro. That's the intro for AC, my Ace Frehley tribute band that I've been doing since 2013. I figured it was fitting, and in the words of my close personal friend, Stone Cold Steve Austin, crack one for the space man. I'm sorry, I'm numb. I'm numb. You didn't. I always say it's like when a musician dies, an actor dies, a comedian dies, somebody that's famous dies. It's like, well, why are you getting ripped up about it? You didn't know them. They weren't your friends. But sometimes it's just on a level that influences your whole life. Keith Robert Warr, my guitar player here in Vegas, in the Vegas version of AC. He made the great statement: if there was no Ace, there's no us. And that, you don't realize how true that statement is, how deep that statement is. Think about it. If there's no Ace, there's no us. And that just goes to show the impact that Ace and Kiss had Jesus Christ, I can't talk. I guess I'm doing a shot of whiskey. Cheers. the impact that band has had on our lives. Would I have picked up a guitar if it wasn't for Ace Frehley? Probably, but it would be a lot different. I say that there's two reasons I picked up a guitar. It was Ace Frehley and the Johnny B. Good scene from Back to the Future. But the statement, without Ace, there's no us, runs so deep. Because the impact that that band has had on my life, that Ace Frehley has had on my life, the people that I have met, the friends that I have, that I'm lucky to have, all of them, no matter who they are. Who knows if our crafts, if our paths would have crossed, if it was not for Kiss and Ace Frehley. Yes, rock and roll brings people together, but there is a bond because of Kiss. That whole Kiss Army thing, it's so true. Zeus said made a joke on Shout Out Loudcast. I'm a Kiss tard, and I'm pretty damn proud of it. Well, he's damn right. He's spot on. I am a Kiss tard, and I am proud of it. Because without that band, who knows what I would have done with my life? Who knows what would have been? Who knows where I would be? Without the influence of Ace Frehley and without the influence of Kiss, I don't even know. Maybe I wouldn't have started to get into bands. Maybe I wouldn't have got into radio. Maybe I wouldn't have followed this path at all. And yes, I sound narcissistic talking about myself. But this is blanket. This is a blanket statement. This is a blanket revelation. The impact that Ace Frehley had on my life. I might be married with 4 kids, still in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Working some office job. Owning a business. Being successful. Not begging for money on the internet. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I got that pulled up. Let's put that in.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat Fontaine. That's one of the reasons that I'm so numb. You know, we always talk about, or, you know, Kiss, us Kiss fans, we always speculate, well, which one's going to go first? Not that we want any of them to go, but we know it's going to be inevitable. And obviously it is, because Ace Frehley is gone. Ace Frehley has risen to Jandel. He's gone home to Jandel. I'm glad I didn't do this earlier. I heard this morning, and, talking to some of my industry friends, and, hearing that it was confirmed, and not being able to say anything because you don't want to be that guy that says it before it's officially announced. I posted pictures, but, praying for the best, praying for good news, because we had all heard the rumors. The rumors were obviously out there. A so-called journalist posted a cryptic thing that basically was saying rest in peace Ace without saying it before there was an official announcement. And that's bad. That's not good. You're not a fucking journalist if you do that. Because you know better if you're a journalist. Quote unquote fucking journalist. I am a journalist. I was a journalist. I was a rock writer. I was a DJ. Radio DJ, not... That might be the greatest beat I've ever created. You gotta be smart. You can't jump the gun. You can't... I get it. You want to be the first. You want to get the headlines. There's no reason for that. You want to be a fucking pro, be a pro. That shit pisses me off. My Kiss story, I'm going to jump all over the place. I'll get back to my where the fuck would I be. And this is not going to be a long episode. You guys don't need to hear me blabber on about Ace Frehley for 3 hours. I mean, I could, but I won't. And at the end of this show, I'm going to play my interview. The one time I got to interview Ace was when I was doing mornings on the Monsters of Rock radio on the Dash Radio Network, which is now something else. But Harlan had me doing mornings, and I did an actual morning show. It wasn't just liner jog bullshit. I did as much as a morning show that they would let me, and I would definitely push the limits. If you ever heard it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you didn't, well, you missed it. I was actually pretty fucking good, if I don't say so myself. But I was able to interview Ace. I don't even know what year it was. Whatever year I was doing. Was it 2018? 2019? Something like that. I know it wasn't COVID yet. But those dark COVID times that we like to forget. Or try to forget, at least. But I got to interview Ace, and I remember that day. I wasn't sure. He was supposed to just call my Google Voice number, but for some fucking reason, my computer was not acting correctly. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do this at the studio. I got the studio time, and Ace was running late. Because it was the radio junket that he had. So he was running late, and I could have went longer, but there was people that had the studio booked for after me. And I'm not an ass. I'm not going to keep people waiting, but on the other hand, I've got my hero, a rock and roll Hall of Famer, the guitar player that has influenced my life on the phone doing an interview. And I'm like, I'm trying to wrap it up. I don't want to wrap it up. And at one point of the interview, which you hear, he says, Izzy, you're trying to get rid of me? Like, no. It wasn't my fault. I could have went at least another 10, 15 minutes with him. But no, I think that was his last interview of the day, so I had more time. It's like, fuck. That was the one time. That was the one time I had a chance to interview Ace. And it was a radio interview, so it had to be like a radio style interview. It couldn't. God, I wish I could have sat face to face with him and done it like an actual interview. But I am thankful that I had those 18 minutes with my hero, Ace Frehley. And yeah, I met him a couple times. It was just quick meet and greet things. And it was fine. I mean, it was great. It's fucking Ace. You know, did the picture. The second time was at Creatures Fest, and he signed my solo album poster. The only one I have left to get is Paul. So maybe, just maybe, I can finally get that in November. We'll see. I don't know. I'm praying to the Kiss gods that can happen. Because then I can get all four, and I get them framed together. Since I moved into this apartment, I've left the spot over my TV open in the living room so I can hang those up. But they all have to be autographed, and the last one I need is Paul. It is such a weird thing that a band can just bring people together. And with Kiss, it was more than just the music. It was, I think with Kiss, it was the right time. There was that time in the 70s when they broke. And being young, impressionable children, we were just intrigued by the look, intrigued by the mystique, intrigued by what they were doing. And then just so happens that the music was fucking awesome on top of it. We got hooked. It was the 70s Beatlemania. It was the 70s Elvis. We got hooked, and because of that, getting hooked at such a young age, we now have that camaraderie. We now have that feeling. We now have that bond. The impact that Kiss has had on my life is irreplaceable. You don't have that bond and camaraderie with the Bay City fucking Rollers. Yeah, we all love a lot of the same bands, but there's something just different about Kiss. Without Ace, there is no us. And that is so goddamn true. Without Ace, I would have no Ace Frehley tribute band. I would not be playing with these great musicians that I am lucky enough to play with. I might not even know them. We might have never crossed paths. This whole world that I am in, I might not be anywhere near if it was not for Kiss. And if it was not for Ace fucking Frehley. People can shit on his guitar playing all they want. But he is a rock god. He is a rock icon. And that word gets thrown around a lot. But with Ace, it is true. That band influenced so many musicians. Ace Frehley influenced so many guitar players. They don't play like him. But if it wasn't for Ace, who knows what they would play like? Who knows if they would be where they are? Who knows if they would be in the circles that we're in? It's so fucking weird. It's like the butterfly effect. You kill one butterfly, and that can change the future. Thinking about a life without Kiss and without Ace Frehley, I don't fucking know. I mean, my youngest memories. Christmas, 1976. Getting Destroyer. We lived in a trailer park. I remember, well, then a year later, our neighbors were having, and I fucking remember how I remember this shit. I don't know. A year later, our neighbors were having a barbecue. And one of the guys had fucking Rock and Roll Over, and I remember just staring at that record. Then the solo albums, which was weird because my mom got me the solo records, but she got me Gene, Paul, and Peter. She never got me the Ace one. Probably because it was sold out, because that's the only one that really sold. I have my mom to thank. This is the all sandwiches aside. Kidding, Mom. I love you. If my mom had never got me that Kiss Destroyer, who knows? If she had never got me those solo records, who knows? Every morning on Monsters of Rock Radio, what did I close the show with? My outro bumper music was Gene Simmons, When You Wish Upon a Star. If it wasn't for Kiss, if it wasn't for Ace Frehley, who the fuck knows? Without Ace, there is no us. All right, kids. Here's that interview from the Monsters of Rock Radio. Thank you. You guys have a great evening. And enjoy the Brian Slagle interview, which is coming out today as well. Recorded before Ace passed. And then I did record with Mitch Schneider, PR icon, and talking Ozzy, talking Petty, talking Bowie. And we got off the air, and I didn't even know that he represented Sam Kinison and Bill Hicks, and that just blew my fucking mind. And now he's going to have to come back because I want to talk about Bill Hicks for an hour. Check out the Patreon. This show is on the Patreon. Ad-free. Everything on the Patreon is ad-free. They get it before everybody else. Thank you, thank you, Patreon members. And thank you guys for listening. And here's my Ace Frehley interview.
Hi, this is Ace Frehley, and you're listening to Izzy Presley on the Monsters of Rock. Don't touch that dial.
All right, everybody, it is the Monsters of Rock. Izzy Presley here, and as promised, on the phone line, a man that I've been wanting to interview since I was 4 years old. The reason I started playing guitar, my hero, Ace Frehley. Welcome to the Monsters of Rock, Mr. Frehley.
Thank you, Izzy. I didn't realize you were really into rock and roll at age 4.
I was. Mom brought me up on Elvis and all that stuff, and then December 24th, 1976, Destroyer showed up underneath the Christmas tree, and it changed my life forever. I was warped forever, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I've heard that story before, but Destroyer was a good record, and I'm glad it was the beginning of your rock and roll career and so on and so forth.
Before we get rolling into the record, obviously the big news is you have a brand new band, and ironically, it's good friends of mine. I'm friends with Chris and Scott, and then all of a sudden, bam, my buddies in Gene's band show up, and it's like, boom, they're in Ace's band. Kind of explain what happened there.
I stole them. They were opening when Gene invited me to go on tour with him to Australia. I asked him if I could use his band to open for me because it would save me the large expense of flying in my whole band and crew. Mm-hmm. So he said absolutely, and then we got along famously, and the shows went great. I opened for Gene, then he came out and did an hour and 45 minutes. I had to hang out for an hour and a half, and then he brought me back on at the end of the show to do Rock and Roll Night and Deuce, and that brought down the house.
Yeah. How long into that run after Gene kind of fell off the bill and it was just you and those guys before you realized that, you know what, I want to use these guys?
Well, yeah, Gene was supposed to go to Japan but canceled, so I ended up going to Japan with his band, and we just knocked them dead in Tokyo. It was so much fun, we were doing 2 shows a night, and I was a little concerned that, I'd be able to pull that off, 2 70-minute shows, but I actually had a great time, and I think part of it had to do with how well these guys play and sing.
Right.
Everybody in the band's the lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do 3 or 4-part harmony. In a way, it reminds me of the way Kiss was in the beginning. You had 4 lead singers.
Yeah.
So, and they're terrific musicians, easy to get along with. And to me, it was just the next logical step for me to go because I was having problems with one of the members of my band. And I'm not going to mention any names, but
it's respectable.
It was only a matter of time. So I figured, sooner than later.
Right. And the one thing that I noticed, I was watching some of the videos from that Japan tour. It's like you were playing the songs a little bit faster. The thing I noticed over the last few years, it's been really, really fucking slow. And now it's kind of speeding, getting back up to speed again.
You just gave the hint away.
Oh my God. So that's
what
why
happens.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was nice to hear all the songs back up to speed again. And I was talking with Jeremy a little bit, and he's like, God, we were doing Cold Gin in Osaka, and it was like the Alive One extended version, and Ace sounded like on Alive One, and I was just geeking out.
I'll tell you what song really got me, because I've been doing 2000 Man on and off for the last several years with my band, but they really never nailed the harmonies.
Right.
Because there's some great harmonies on my version of 2000 Man, the cover I did of the Stones. And I remember performing it in Tokyo opening night, and all of a sudden I'm hearing this great harmony on both sides of the stage, and I'm saying, wow, I haven't heard this since I performed it with Paul and Jane.
Yeah. How did you come across 2000 Man? I know you're an old school music guy, and I heard that you don't even listen to new music. You just listen to the old shit. And I know like a lot of the covers that you've done, you haven't wanted to do. And but 2000 Man is one of those
2000 Man is old shit.
It is. It is.
It's from Satanic Majesty's Request, which was that was the Stones' follow-up to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
you got to do your homework on this stuff now, Izzy.
Oh, trust me, I've heard the Stones version. I just didn't. I was just kind of wondering if that was one of those things that stuck in your head.
Well, I put a big twist on it.
Yes,
I
you did.
Didn't put anything like the Stones.
Yes, you did. And that song is always in my. I actually have an Ace Frehley tribute band called ACK, and that's always in the set.
That's the first,
right?
You know what ACK is short for? Acronym.
That is wild and weird stuff.
Actually, I read that on the internet.
Oh, so it's got to be true, right? It's got to be true. Yeah, one of the things
not true.
Well, it's got on the internet, so it has to be true, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that we do in the band is like we do a lot of the non-makeup stuff, and that's one of the things that I've noticed you've kind of gone away from over the years too, from the Frehley's Comet and the Trouble Walking record and stuff like that. Is there a reason you haven't?
I'm going to try to do a couple of those on the Kiss cruise.
Nice.
I think we're going to try to revive Save Your Love, and everybody has been demanding Dark Light for years.
Right.
So I'm actually flying in a day early and going to a rehearsal studio with the guys in Miami, the day before we get on the boat, so we can, perform those to the best of our ability.
And you got to watch out for those guys. They have tricks on how to get you to play songs that you might have forgotten about. So just be careful. I know their tricks. I'm not going to give them away, but I know them. I'm sure Gene has told you about them. But
he hasn't said much. He just, he's just happy that I'm using them because, he just thinks they're a better band for me to work with.
Yeah, and like I said,
he's kind of taking me under his wing, so to speak, and he's looking out for my best interests.
That's awesome, man. And I know you guys kind of, you guys reconnected, and he played on the new record. But you guys did that show in St. Paul a year ago. Is this kind of how it all grew?
I don't know. It's just like the planets are aligning. I don't know how else to put it. I was just talking to my I was just talking to my publicist, Bill Mize, and I said, Bill, everything just seems to be going my way lately, and I feel like the planets are aligning, and I'm in for bigger and better things, and one day at a time. I'm just going with it. I'm going with the flow.
That's all you can really do. I did see something that you're going to be doing the 78 solo record front to back at a New Jersey Kiss Expo or something like that.
Yeah, I heard that, even though it wasn't my idea. I just got a phone call saying, you got to do that. And luckily, I can easily do it with this band.
Right. It was probably
they
there.
got the chops, and we have 3 guitar players instead of 2, so... Mm-hmm. A lot of that album, I overdubbed a lot of extra guitars, so we'll be able to do that in New Jersey. I think it's 10 days before Christmas.
Nice. And you know what? It might have been them. It might have been one of their tricks.
That's okay. It's a good trick.
Right, exactly.
Not a cheap trick. No pun intended.
So the new record comes out on Friday. I want to thank you for picking my birthday for the new record to come out. It makes me feel very honored. It's called Spaceman.
You're not the first person to say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to take pride.
Go figure.
I'm just going to take pride in the fact.
Have you heard the record yet?
I have, and I really like it. Your playing is fucking amazing.
Thank you so much. One of my favorite songs is the Eddie Money cover.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Song that you've loved for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big fan of Eddie Money. I remember seeing him play a 200-seat club when his first album came out. And then subsequently, he had the huge hit, 2 Tickets to Paradise, and his career was off.
Yeah. And I thought you did a great job on it.
Thank you. Pretty much Eddie's version is keyboards and sax.
Uh-huh.
And I pretty much eliminated the keyboards and sax and just layered a lot of guitars.
Well, that's sometimes, that's the one thing that I love about your covers is you kind of reinvent them and really make them your own.
Somebody told me I acify them.
People can look at this, just look at the song titles on the new record, like I Want to Go Back and Rockin' with the Boys and Without You, I'm Nothing. And kind of, Kiss Geeks might be able to, or might read into it a little bit too far, thinking that, oh my God, he's saying he wants to go back to Kiss.
Well, I don't hear that. I just, a lot of people are comparing this album to my 78 solo album. And, then some people are saying, well, a lot of the songs are autobiographical. I mean, I identified with the I Want to Go Back because I looked at that video, and it reminded me of when, I did a piece with the Village Voice a couple of years ago, and they made me go back up to the Bronx and show my old high school, so on and so forth, places I used to hang out in. And then I saw that video, and I said, wow, what a great video. And not only that, I mean, the song is brilliant, and the lyrics and the melody are wonderful. So I just said, I got to do that song.
Yeah, that's great. It's great. And I know we got to wrap up here pretty quick, because I know you're on this press junket fun times. But one thing I did want to touch on, and I know that...
They'll just tell me we're fine.
I hope we're fine.
Trying to get rid of me.
Oh, God, no. God, no. Look,
right.
Shit, if I had the time, I would keep you on here for 3 hours. But
10 minutes you got.
10 minutes.
You got another 10 minutes.
We got another 10 minutes. All right, cool. Okay. But next time you're in LA, we got to get you in studio so we can do a nice long form sit down. I
was just there.
I know. I was at the MI thing. I was the dork in the 80s Ace Frehley replica stage jacket that asked about selling guitars.
Okay.
Yeah. I made a Chris Wise joke, and you're like, you kind of look like Chris. And I'm like, oh okay. Kind of threw me for a loop.
Chris is a great guy. He's working with the Vampires now. He's doing shows with Joe Perry. And he just wishes me the best, which is the way it should be from everybody.
Yeah, actually, Chris has played with my Ace Frehley tribute band. It was fun. He's
excellent.
He's a great dude. But I mean, obviously, Kiss is going on their big end of the road tour, and if Gene and Paul come out and say, like, look, this is the band, it's Tommy and Eric, this is the band, but they came to you and said, look, I mean, would you be opposed to opening the tour? Would that be something that you'd be interested in, or would that be like a slap in the face?
I would not open the tour.
Okay.
You can tell them I said that. And I'm sure they're going to hear it.
All right, cool. And I don't know. I mean, that's something that Kiss Geeks talk about.
If I can't regain my throne, I'm not going to be the.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And that is your throne, God damn it.
I invented it.
Yes, you did. I mean, going back to 78, when the solo records came out, I knew they kind of came out as a, you and Peter wanted to leave, and they said, no, stay, we'll do solo records, yada, yada, yada. Did the solo records, this is going to have to be the last question, unfortunately.
Necessitate my leaving?
Not necessarily that. Did the solo records kind of cause a bigger jar in the, or a bigger cut in the band?
You mean the word you're looking for is rift?
Yes, that too. Thank you. A bigger rift.
I usually can't remember those kinds of words, but for some reason I did.
Obviously, I can't either.
Well, what happened is when I went in the studio with Eddie Kramer alone, just me, Eddie, and Anton Fig, it was very obvious to me I was more creative away from Paul and Gene and Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes you got too many chefs in the kitchen, and it was kind of the beginning of the end because I saw myself, eventually leaving Kiss and going out on my own and putting a band together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when I made that decision, I forgot that I was drunk and a drug addict. So everything
Right.
didn't work out as planned. But, somehow, some way I got out of that. And, now I'm 12 years sober and everything seems to be going my way.
And you're off the sugars and grains.
Okay.
Well, you're on that low carb diet, man. You're thin now. I love it. It's just great to see.
I dropped 30 pounds.
Yeah, I love it, man. You're healthy. And I guess kind of where I was going to with the question is, did the solo records cause any jealousy between the members? I mean, because I know you had, you were on the wall of the Madison Square Garden for years. It was just you. It wasn't the band. Was there like a competition and jealousy between the guys at the time?
Those guys never acknowledged that my album did the best. And if you ask Gene today, he'll still say that his album sold more.
That's what it says on Wikipedia, ironically.
Look, Gene's ego.
Yes.
Paul's ego.
Yes, absolutely.
Peter has a pretty big ego himself. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we never talked about it, to be honest with you. From my memory, But I don't remember discussing it. It was just we all did it, and then we tried to move on, And
Gotcha.
But I think they were very much aware of the fact that I was going to want to have more songs on records in the future, which I did. And they were realizing, that I'm somebody that they must respect more and let me just, do my thing.
Well, you did a great thing. Just thank you.
I did a great thing. Huh?
You did a great thing. The whole career, you did a great thing. And as
What thing was that?
everything, it was everything. You made a great solo record. You've had a great career, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, what else can you say, dude? And as a fan, I just want to say thank you. I know you've heard that 10 billion times, but thank you for coming on the Monsters of Rock. And like I said, next time you're in LA, let's sit down and do this face to face.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Izzy. I'm glad you like the record, and I'm just hoping when it hits the street in 2 days, the fans feel the same way.
I hope so, too, and I'm going to do my goddamn bestest to make sure.
All right. Well, I live in Rancho Santa Fe, so I'm only an hour and 45 minutes from you.
I know. I'll make the drive. Just say the word.
Okay.
All right, Ace,
We'll
dude.
keep in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for
All right, have
having
a
me
great
on the
day.
show.
Anytime.
All right.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.